New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Heather Graham joins us now from outside the book, here from the 2012 Southern Kentucky Festival of Books. Heather, you're a headliner here today and we're happy to have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. It's a amazing group of incredibly nice people. Everything's been wonderful. Very happy
Good.
to be here.
Glad to have. Let's talk a little bit about you and writing, because I was just looking over her bio once again, and it would probably take us the whole half hour if I were to tell you all the things that she's done in her lifetime. But intriguing, you have a huge background in theater and stage. And so is that a good premise from which to begin writing?
Actually, it's funny because I think it was a wonderful premise to go into writing, which I wasn't actually expecting. When I got out of college, I did dinner theater for several years, worked with musicians, and I'm from Florida. State of Florida is a right to work state. So by the time I had 3 children, I actually couldn't afford to go to work because we actually weren't paid that well in dinner theater. So I was supplementing. I had some strange jobs. I was a singing, tap dancing, rib sales girl, and I've done some other pretty strange things. But when I'd started writing, I kind of thought, oh my God, theater was great because I'm already really good at rejection. I know how to take it when bad things happen. Because can be, sometimes people will write that one book and they're picked up immediately and it just goes wonderfully. But for most people, when they're writing, it takes a long time and it's hard and you are going to be rejected and you kind of have to slide back from it and believe in yourself and keep going. So I did get that from my theater education.
Well, but I was thinking of it more from the standpoint of when you write a scene, you can write it from the standpoint of the actors, if you will, being the characters and how they would
I
move
think I
through
do
a
write
scene.
visually. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people do write visually, the scenes that you're creating in your own head. So I'm sure that happens too. And I also think one of the good things, and I'm not sure if it's from the education or what, but really love getting out. I love traveling. I love to see people. And I'm hoping a lot of that, I want to think I went to school for a good reason. So part of that, yep.
What makes a good character?
I think a good character should be a very real character, and I, for a lot of people, doing that means not so much that you take one character from life, but perhaps you take several and put them together, or certain aspects of certain people, and put them together. There's for this particular book, The Unseen, I have a friend who is a U.S. Marshal, and the heroine starts off as a U.S. Marshal before becoming an FBI agent. So he was great, and he took me all through the FBI offices, the U.S. Marshal offices in Key West, because there are only 2 marshals down there. So it was very easy to go through the whole building with him, and he was great. He was a little offended that I turned him into a girl, but it was, it was okay, it worked.
It worked. So that's important then, the research and seeing the reality of a situation.
I love it. I know that people work in many different ways. I have friends who really just love to stay home and work from the internet. I really love to travel, and I also love to use places as characters. Perhaps some of that I'm from Miami, and really from Miami, and it's a totally insane, crazy city, and it's great to use. Key West is also great to use. I mean, there's so many places around the country that are so unique and do become, very important themselves because certain things can only happen in certain places.
In those places.
Yeah.
But you brought up something interesting, that some of your colleagues who write like to do their traveling via the internet,
Yeah.
virtual travel. But you like the hands-on, the smell, the sense, and I suspect
I
that's
do.
important to your writing.
For me, it is. Again, the great thing about writing is there's no right way to do it. I mean, everyone's going to have their own method, their own way. Every career is going to go differently. Um, and I think I would say that for all the people I know who are writing for a living and doing very well at it, they might have all come from different things, theater majors, doctors, nurses, lawyers, whatever it is that somebody did, business majors, I have friends who are doing very well who did not go to college at all, but what they loved to do was read. So the most successful authors I know are authors who loved to read, and that's
Avid
where they came
readers.
from. Yeah.
What do you want when someone reads one of your books? Are you hoping they walk away or consume it in a certain way, or do you leave that to the eyes and the ears and the nose of the reader?
I'm That's an interesting question. I think sometimes or one thing with places, when I really love a place and I've used it, I hope that the readers will really want to go to that place, that I'll do that for them. I've worked in a lot of historical venues and I'm fascinated by history, and I would love for people to want to go find out more about whatever the historical aspect was. But also, I think that's one of the great things about a book is you create what you want in your own mind with the book as well.
But the sense I'm getting from you is you're someone who likes to experience, who really is passionate about whatever it is she partakes in. And so that's something that you can bring then to your reader, that intimate look that maybe they wouldn't necessarily have.
I like to think so. I mean, I definitely hope so. I have also I try to incorporate a lot of the things that I like to do. I have a number of books where people go diving because I love to dive. And then I think I've followed too. I do have 5 children. So a lot of the things that I've done when they were young, I did some baseball books. And I have one who's an Arthur Murray dance instructor. So that became Dead on the Dance Floor. And everyone in that studio knew who I should kill. It was fun, a lot of fun to do. And then I think that that's something that anyone out there can do too, like all the little things in your life that are weird or strange, are things that you can use, with it's always the what if, and then the what if taking it in a different direction, or the what if taking it with this person, or, the different ways that things go. So, again, yeah, for me, I love to use one of the old things they say is write what you know. And of course, you can't, I guess you could, but for me, what I knew, at the time, a great deal was Miami, Florida, or some of the places I'd been. But you have to expand what you know if you're going to keep writing for a while. And then I think I was very lucky too. My mom was born in Dublin. My dad was born in Sterling. They brought all kinds of books with them when they came to the United States, and they were huge readers. So from the time I was young, I always had it coming at me. So that was great. And I think I would like to instill that love of reading that they gave me into other people.
Now you have 5 children. Note,
Yeah.
she said she has 5 children. So how do you write in the course of a day? Do you write something every day?
Well, yeah, I write pretty much so every day. And thanks to the kids, I do kind of feel like I'm a Dr. Seuss writer. Like I can work on a plane, in a train, in a car, going far, the whole bit. But and I couldn't do that if it hadn't been for the kids. My youngest is just graduating from college, so they're grown up now, and they're not much of an excuse at this age for not getting to sit down and work. But they honestly gave me everything because I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for them.
If it weren't for them.
Staying home with them.
Continued success to you, and
Oh,
thank you for
thank
sharing
you.
your story.
Thank you.
We've been talking with author Heather Graham from the 2012 Southern Kentucky Festival of Books on Outside the Book. I'm Barbara Deeb. Thanks for joining us.